indeed. Andries is here, and we're talking about those numbers that you have just been enunciating, and not a bad set of results. Andries, thanks very much, and thanks for coming through. Considering all the things that are happening in the economy, really, not a bad set of numbers. But are you satisfied? Is that the best that Afrimat could do in this environment?
Godfrey, thank you very much. Yes, we are extremely satisfied. The market was exceptionally tough, and if we compare it to our competitors, I think the business has done well. And we've been able to pick up the business in the really nice parts of the country as we plan to do.
Absolutely. The results, as you were explaining to me, are the coming together, if you like, of a strategy that was taken 2 years ago to focus on infrastructure-related work.
Yes.
Take us through that strategy and why that was necessary.
Godfrey, about 2 years ago, during a strategy session, we realized that the residential market was heading for a slowdown. We didn't expect it to be as bad as it turned out to be. Yes. And we then decided to broaden our strategy to focus more on the infrastructural side. We then positioned ourselves. We supplied material to the Medupi power station. We supply certain materials to the Kusile power station. We supply a lot of material to the different road projects around the country. We also do services like drilling and blasting. A whole array of products that we offer to the government's infrastructure projects.
Yeah, and as we know, those types of projects have not been affected really by the downturn because the government has kept on spending, albeit with a few problems here and there.
Yeah, for instance, Kusile is slightly behind schedule, but certain of the work is going on, and it is definitely keeping us busy.
Let's talk about the other divisions. I mean, you guys predominantly are an aggregates business.
That's correct.
And but you do also have a ready-mix concrete business. But before we get to that, let's talk about the Western Cape and the poor state of the economy in that region. Why is that so? Because as we all know, the Western Cape is the second biggest contributor to GDP in South Africa. But why is the economy in that part of the world so poor?
Going back 3 years ago, a lot of the spending in the Western Cape was privately funded, and that has just about dried up. Government spending on infrastructure is also not happening in that province. There are no power stations being built, or even the road projects in that part of the world is slower than it used to be. So for the last couple of years, it's been tough in the Western Cape. It is quite exciting right now with the N1, N2 toll road projects. From a supplier's point of view, we're quite excited that there's a lot of work coming in the near future.
So things are beginning to turn around a little bit.
It will be turning around.
KwaZulu-Natal, you have that concrete manufactured products business. How is that doing? We saw volumes were not quite good in this reporting period.
We came from a very high base. The previous year was an absolute record year, and we warned the market at the time that we don't see that as a sustainable level. It has come down a little bit, but it is still a very good performance for that kind of business.
In this reporting period, one other bright spot was, of course, the acquisition of Blue Plat, I think you call it, yes, Blue Platinum, and that added a little bit to the bottom line. How has that been coming along in terms of bedding it down, and potentially, could we be looking at more acquisitions given the fact that you've just posted another one with Exxaro?
Yeah, the Blue Platinum acquisition, we took control about 4 months into the financial year. It took us a couple of months to turn it around and get it back into production again and into full capacity. And for the last couple of months of the financial year, we actually saw a good contribution, and I'm very bullish about the contribution for the year ahead.
Did you find any surprises in it when you acquired? You know how it is, you acquire a business, on the surface of it things appear to be okay, you're told certain numbers are like this and like that, but sometimes when you get into the nitty-gritties you find surprises. Did you find any?
We weren't surprised. We were expecting the surprises. We got 66% of the business for R1. It makes you expect surprises when you do that.
Absolutely. And now we saw you also going after that Exxaro unit, that we talked about. What will that add to the overall business? And what's the strategy behind the acquisitions that you're making? What are you trying to build here?
Right. The first question on what Glen Douglas should add. Glen Douglas is quite a big mine quarry in our terms. Considering that Afrimat sold about 5.8 million tons of aggregate in the previous financial year, making us probably the second largest producer of aggregates in the country. But Glen Douglas on its own sold about 1.2 million tons. So it's about a 20% addition in volume terms. At the moment, the business is in a break-even situation. We think that there is a potential to turn the business around and turn it into a profitable business, and that should make a significant contribution 2 years from now.